Alright, this is your review for your vectors for your final exam. On number 1 it says, find its position vector and write it in the form AI plus BJ. And you have these two endpoints here. So basically you put it in component form first and then just put it in AI plus BJ. Remember, to find it you say 3 minus negative 2, negative 4 minus 7. That gives me 5, that gives me negative 11. So my linear combination form would be 5i minus 11j. So you take this, x sub 2 minus x sub 1, y sub 2 minus y sub 1. And that is your vector. Those are the endpoints. Alright, number 2, it says if vector u is negative 3i minus 7j and vector v is 8i plus 5j, find u minus v. Okay? So you're going to subtract the components. If I'm saying u minus v, negative 3i minus 8i will be negative 11i. Negative 7j minus 5j would be negative 12j. Just think of it like this. What's that minus going to do to everything in that second parentheses? Change the signs. Number 3 says find the magnitude. Remember that symbol for magnitude of the vector 8i minus 6j. Remember, square root of a squared plus b squared. So this will be 8 squared. Sorry, that's an 8. Plus negative 6 squared. Gives me 64 plus 36, which equals square root of 100, which equals 10. So my answer is 10. That is the magnitude, the length of that vector. Alright, number 4 says find the dot product of vector u and v if vector u is 3i plus 4j and vector v is negative 2i minus j. Remember, dot product is exclusive just for vectors. Okay, so I'm going to say 3, multiply corresponding parts. 3 times negative 2 plus 4 times a negative 1. That gives me negative 6 plus negative 4, which is negative 10. It's my dot product. It says, if the magnitude, number 5, if the magnitude of the vector is 8 and the angle is 30, write the vector and form AI plus BJ. So, you got to work backwards to find your A value and B value. Remember, your A value is the magnitude times cosine of the angle. B is the magnitude times the sine of the angle. A equals 8 times cosine of 30. A equals 8 times the square root of 3 over 2. The 2 and 8 can cancel, and that leaves you 4 square root of 3. B equals 8 times the sine of the angle. B equals 8 times 1/2. That is 4. So it'll be 4 square root of 3i plus 4j would be my vector. These are the type of stuff that you need to know out of the vector. Please go back and review plot and polar coordinates. You have 2 of those on test where I just tell you to plot this point. Number 6, it says find the rectangular coordinates for the points negative 6, 135. Alright, you got to remember what the x and the y formula are. X equals r cosine of the angle. Y equals r sine of the angle. Remember, we're going to rectangles, so we have an x and a y. X equals negative 6 cosine of 135. Y equals negative 6 sine 135. 135 is in quad 2. That's going to be negative square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so this cancels out and leaves a negative 3. A negative times a negative is a positive 3 square root of 2. Sine of 135 is square root of 2 over 2. That cancels out, leaving a negative 3. That's going to be negative 3 square root of 2. So your coordinates will be 3 square root of 2 and negative 3 square root of 2. Number 7 says find the polar coordinates for the point 3 square root of 3 and negative 3. So we need an r and a theta. Remember, the r form is x squared plus y squared. So r equals 3 square root of 3 squared plus negative 3 squared. Square root of 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Negative 3 squared is 9. 27 and 9 gives you 36. Oh, it's r squared. Sorry. Remember, it's r squared. So square root of that is 6. Alright, now I'm going to find my angle. Cancel out these 3s. So it's going to be negative 1 over square root of 3. Rationalize. Now, let's think of what quadrant that's in. That's in the x is positive. That's going to be quadrant 4. That's the pi over 6 family. In quad 4, that would give me a tangent of this. It will give me a tangent of this pi over 6. So in quad 4 is 11 pi over 6. So your answer is 6, 11 pi over 6. Okay. Number 8, determine the modulus of the complex number. Remember, it's the square root. Excuse me. I can tell you that wrong. Nope, I was right. Square root of 3 squared plus that coefficient of 1 squared. Square root of 3 squared is 3. The square and square root cancel out. 1 squared is 1. Then you got 3 plus 1 is 4. That is 2 is your answer. So it's the square root of this squared plus the coefficient squared. Gives you the absolute value. Remember, the modulus is the absolute value. That is it for the review right now. Thank you.